just immediately removing Lance from the fold, from the hero roster. And as mentioned earlier on, Renagades will not want to deal with this Black Feather whatsoever, banning him out. And of course, true to Southeast Asian spirit, we have the Arden first pick.
Yeah, so obviously banning Black Feather does leave Arden open, but once again, Lyra was banned away in the first match, picked up this game for Renegades. They have so much sustain with that. They can decide to go for a poke comp or for a dive comp. Arden and Lyra both allow your compositions to go in many different ways. Lyra tends to work much better with a poke comp because she can heal up and repoke, whereas Arden does tend to work a lot better with a dive comp because of that double gauntlet. But obviously they can work both ways. Kestrel ban is interesting from Renegades. It wasn't prioritised in the last game, maybe because Black Feather was available. Now without Black Feather, they don't feel comfortable playing against Kestrel. And a Saw ban from Elite 8. That's not a troll. Saw is good this patch. He is meta, he is strong and picked up quite a lot, especially with someone like Lyra. That early game pressure in lane is so hard to face against that Elite 8 said they don't want to do it. I'd expect a Vox pick from Renegades here. Vox is really good against Lyra, and so they want to pick up for themselves with Kestrel and Saw off the table, as well as Black Feather. Vox is looking in a really good position if they pick that up for themselves now.
Yep, and I mean, it's quite telling to pick up a Lyra, ban out Castro. There's a very high probability that you really want to go for that. So, but as you mentioned, and must agree with you, Vox is the next best pick coming through for the side of Renegades. They are definitely taking their time to think about this last pick. If not, then, you know, I mean, Vox is a strong pick, but they will just leave it open, immediately just locking in Rhyme for their first pick after the second phase of bans. As for the side of Elite 8, they can quite easily try their best to counter Rhyme, just have a kite comp. I don't know. I personally don't know, because Elite 8 now, right? They just seem so out of the meta. I mean, based on what they actually played in the first phase of first game itself, they just seem so out of the meta. It'll not be surprising to me if they just go in with that Sky and Vox pickup. It is the most natural pickup for themselves now. The Vox and Sky just try to kite out this Rhyme.
Yeah, obviously Vox really good against Rhyme, really good against Lyra, almost guaranteed mortal wounds because Vox loves Poison Shiv in his build. So that makes sense for Elite 8 to pick it up. And Sky could work really well against Rhyme. They have a couple of other ranged options. Scarf is not a bad pick this time because they're not against the Black Feather, not against Reza. And so I wouldn't mind that. They could also go Celeste. I don't think Celeste and Scarf are that good. So maybe something like a Samuel could work against this Rhyme to try and guide him. This is if they don't want to go Sky, because Sky is really good against Rhyme. Just run away from him, you should be fine. But they also have the Crawl available. Crawl could work to counter Rhyme if they go for the double weapon comp. We've seen Vox Crawl work, but they're going Vox Reza. The reason why they picked that Reza is because they know the last pick for Renegades is going to be a weapon carry. There's not many left that are undertold. Ringo, Gwen, and Jewel are what springs to mind, but Weapon Idris could work as well. And so Reza is designed to try and execute the weapon carry that they're pretty sure Renegades are going to pick. Renegades can throw this off by picking Rona, but that would be terrible against Vox. Vox, Sonic Zoom away from Rona, Red Mist, and you're in a bad position. So I think Jewel or Glaive would work well for Renegades as their last pick. We're going to see what they're going to go for. It's going to be a Weapon Petal in the lane. The Reza is really good against that, but Weapon Petal does do well against Vox.
Yep, Weapon Petal definitely do have a very strong early game going into Vox, but the moment Vox gets the Poison Shift, and when even Petal just get that Sorrow Blade, Vox will be better as compared to the Petal. And Petal, like I mentioned, like streams before, that she has a very weird power spike. She's very strong in the early game. She falls off early to mid game, and she becomes strong once again. But then as for Rhyme, he just scales so well throughout the game. So maybe the side of Renegades can look to put pressure, and especially going up against a Reza. Reza is just so mobile for a Rhyme. But as long as Rhyme can catch up, as we saw yesterday as well, Chingy on this Rhyme enjoys building two boots. I mean, Rhyme has 2 legs as well. So
2 feet, 2 boots. It's not a misclick. It's a purposeful buy. Get those journey boots and go into war treads as well.
Yep, there you go. So Ryan can easily catch up onto this Reza, but in the early game, I personally think Reza can outburst this Rhyme as long as you dodge out those Winter Spires. Of course, the basic attacks cannot be dodged out, but your basic attack range is longer than that of Rhyme. So you can try to outkite him and and see what Elite 8 basically can do. Because at this point in time, I'm really liking the draft coming through from Elite 8. It is more true to themselves, it is more in line with the meta.
Yeah, it really is a skill to try and kite basic attacks as a melee hero versus another melee hero. We're going to have to see if Official Hein can do it. On this Reza, he definitely can dodge those Winter Spires, and to be fair, anyone can beat Rhyme if you dodge his Winter Spires. It doesn't matter if you're melee, you're ranged. If he's not landing that, he's not getting anywhere near as much fortified health. He won't survive in the fight, and you'll be able to burst him even as someone like Reza. And so I think that it definitely Elite 8's comp can work really well. But Uni is comfortable on this weapon petal. Swordblade Spike is quite nice, but it's really that first tornado trigger when you start seeing weapon petal come through as a power pick. And then once you get 2 or maybe even 3, it'd be interesting to see 3 tornado triggers. Generally, they go for tyrants as the last item. But I think, yeah, Uni definitely could be a menace to try and deal with. Once again, Renagades is going to be really good against SNK.
Yep, but Han Jaeger in the early game would be able to just poke out Petal, especially since the resonance damage, the pulse as well, and the Sonic Soup, the double basic attack will definitely hurt Petal in the long run. But the Elder Triad once again will be secured by Renagades, and moving on from this Petal, I'm expecting Official Hein on this Chingy Official Hein on this Reza to just play more aggressively. I mean, going up against a Rhyme, it will be very, very difficult since Rhyme will be buying out and buying up anyways after every rotation. That is generally how Rhyme rotates. It is not like a Koshka where he'll just hold on to double crystal bit and try to snowball as hard as possible, because Rhyme knows that he's slow. He wants to go back, he wants to buy, he wants to just increase the amount of damage that he can do in that of the early game, least anybody tries to come in for an invade.
Yep, we might be seeing a bit of an invade from Rhyme. He is much quicker than Reza at clearing his jungle, but it looks like he's going to secure the fronts and go for the Elder Treant as opposed to trying to go into Reza's jungle. Uni farming the wave under turret. We're pretty successful in getting these minions. SNK forced to white ball walk, so that will not be up for a bit. Box free to Sonic Zoom, and Uni's trying to poke out nice damage on that basic attack from Uni. And will he get this minion under turret? Yes, he will. So he's farming quite well, despite the pressure from Renagades' petrol contract used. Official Hein now coming up to lane. I'm sure he was spotted. Yeah, Shingy knew that Official Hein was coming up, so that means Uni going to be backing off under his turret to try and farm up. And Elite 8 not going to be that aggressive against this petal. She's going to face check that bush and be okay. I think, yeah, every single member's porting home. So what do you think about the build from Rhyme? Do you expect to see Shatterglass first, or maybe he's going to build into Eve of Harvest with that energy battery?
I'm just afraid it will be the Eve of Harvest. I hope it will be the Shatterglass into Journey, then Eve of Harvest. But it might just help out with the extra sustain, extra lifesteal that he can get going up against a Reza who is just so bursty. But hey, burst can only be countered by more burst, right? So that is what I'm expecting Chingy to go for. But it probably would not, and he would just fall back into 2.8 meta, where Eve of Harvest will be prioritized. But now Chingy is putting so much pressure against Official Hein. Official Hein once again moving up into the lane. And we mentioned earlier on, we will be expecting quite a lot of aggression coming through from the side of Elite 8 because they have got this Reza. But it's not kind of paying off for them because they just can't quite find the target just yet, especially with SNK with those Imperial Sieges is able to kill Uni up.
Yep, Uni can do quite a bit of poke onto Renagades, but there's a Vanguard to keep him up. And yeah, Shingy's just not being in this lane aggressive focus. Now he is. Shingy's going to come to lane. Uni's going to go quite low. Renagades trying to run away, and Shingy's going to get boosted in by that Imperial Sigil. But Varden gets the punch. Blood for blood, securing the second kill. Shingy did manage to secure the first one onto Vox, so both laners are going to die, but Shingy is alive to push this wave up into lane. And yeah, it was interesting how Shingy decided to let Official Hein be the first one up to lane. It was always just farming up the jungle, and then once 4 minutes hit, he went up to lane through the enemy side as Official Hein did, but there was no vision. Every time Official Hein went up to lane, Uni knew, and Uni could just see it, back off, and nothing would happen. But when Shingy went up to lane, Vox had no idea. Vox was trying to be aggressive onto Uni, and so it was a perfect time for Renegades to try and fight that.
Yeah, but what I think Chingy would actually go for, actually, I mean, just talking about builds alone, maybe will not be the Eve of Harvest. The Eve of Harvest, the energy battery there is probably for that early energy sustain. But the only way to counter, right? So moving away from Chingy, the only way to counter weapon battle is just try your bestest to put as much early game pressure as possible off your high.
Shohan going to go very low. Petal trying to jump in. Valkyrie comes down, does not quite get the stun, but will get the slow. Shingy's going to go low as well. Shohan is still very low, and Pirizital is going to be popped by Lara, keeping Uni quite healthy. He's not got his Solar Blade yet. Renagades, though, not going for Poison Shift first item. I was expecting it. Didn't even talk about Vox's build because it seemed obvious, but it looks like he's going Breaking Point first. And we're going to find out what that is going to be, and he's not going to be anything, so he's just going to wait, which means he's waiting for Poison Shift most likely. So that is going to be nothing from Vox. He decided not to buy anything with 1,400 gold. That's an interesting decision. I was hoping he picked something so we could talk about it. But do you think he should go Breaking Point first, or do you prefer Poison Shift against this Lyra?
Well, I mean, we would think that the most sensible choice right now is just opting for that Poison Shift, just cause and inflict mortal wound on the enemies. That way, the healing from Lyra is just stun out cut by a third, and it will definitely benefit your entire team. But now Hanjäger sitting on close to 2k gold, but official high.
Yeah. He hasn't bought anything. Official high going to go very low, and Hanjäger is going to do much in this fight. Renegades are going to win this fight without question. There is a Shatterglass on Rhyme and a Solar Blade on Petal with only an Aftershock on Reza, and he's now ported home. So Vox, 2,000 gold, he's just not going to do anything. This could be an easy turret. Renegades can see that Vox hasn't got a tier 3 item. That's why they're being so aggressive. And that tier 1 tower is just going to fall. Renegades is going to try and get some damage onto Uni. Rhyme gets the turret. Chill wins, does root up the Vox. That's going to be a death. No chance for the Fountain to save his life. He has got the Gauntlet if Official Hind decides to try and turn this around. Renegades went for Solar Blade first. That's why he was waiting, wasn't buying anything. He didn't have any slots because he bought a Book of Eulogies for sustaining lane and Swift and Blazing Salvo, to try and get that attack speed. And that Heavy Steel was building into Solar Blade, so it's a fine build decision from Jaegers. I quite like Solar Blade first, but in this situation, it was a really bad idea because that means he didn't have a tier 3 when Petal and Rhyme both did, and so he lost the lane fight.
Yep, I think what Hanjäger is trying to achieve is trying to match Uni on that Petal stat for stat, damage for damage, and thus going for that Solar Blade. But what Hanjäger must understand as well coming into this match is that there is one thing you cannot fight a Petal with, and that is her range when she gets a level 8. Right, and she can just kite you from far away, and you have very similar attack range, attack distance as, say, a melee hero. Right, I mean, Vox is one of those most melee range hero out there, and it's I personally do not quite like it. If you're a Ringo, I do understand if you want to
double flare comes up from Renegades. They know exactly where the going to get a stun. SNK is going to be healthy, but Uni's going quite low. He's going to get the damage though onto Vox. Netherform Detonation is not going to be enough for Official Hind. He's going to have to run away. Shingy can get that Imperial Sigil to try and boost him forwards towards the enemy. There's going to be a lovely portal just diving in. Shingy's not going to go through it. He might back away. And now Renegade's going to take some jungle, try and push this wave up. Vox has respawned now. Can't quite afford his Breaking Point second item. He's just not building a Shiv. But Vox is not going for Shiv against Lyra. He's sold his Book of Eulogies. This is really different from Renegades. As you said, he's not going to play against Renegades. He's just going to try and play against Uni, trying to beat him in a 1v1, maybe build up stacks on the Rhyme, and then just try and burst him if he can manage to get within range. So it's a very different build, but it might work out. We're going to have to wait and see. Renegades taking this gold mine, and there's going to be a fight around it. Bulwark used. Arden does not get it with a punch. Now Uni going to look to fight. And Jaegers needs to shop to get his breaking point, so they're going to back off, and now you can have a little chat, Luxuria.
Yeah, but this is just so difficult to try to match Uni stat for stat. As mentioned before, the hardest thing to do is trying to just get in range of Petal as another range hero, unless of course you're Baron, you can shoot from a very, very far away. You can fire those grenades from a very far away. But then if you're a Vox, you have to be in melee, distance to just get on top of Petal. And when you are at the distance, Bright Bolt comes out, Arden cannot save your dear life, and then you have Chingy just throwing and spewing out Winter Spires in your face. And it would just be so difficult for Hanjäger. I mean, just look at Hanjäger's KDA right now, 0-3-1. I'm not saying he has not been doing well. He's been doing well for himself, sitting at a 9 CS-ish, 9 minutes in, not terrible for himself. But he just cannot find the execution that he needs he cannot find, the range, the distance that he needs, the perfect distance for himself to just separate himself from Chingy, Uni, and SNKEA on that Lyra. So it is just very difficult.
There's going to be the Gauntlet coming through, does stun up. Uni, Vox wait for it, does silence him as well. But he's going to get those basic connect from Dash to use, but the Fountain alive to keep Uni alive. The target focus switches to Hunyega. He's got 9 breaking point stacks. Will he get Uni with one more basic? Yes, he will, but Petal trades the kill, and now Shingy looking to push this tier 2 turret. SNK was really helpful with those sigils, and with the Fountain, pretty much saved Uni, make him be able to trade 2 for 1. And now Shingy's like, nope, I don't care about you, lad, and we're just going to bait you into not stalling the minion wave, and now we take the turret. Nice little emote, just to show off from Shingy. And Renagades take 2 turrets. They're about 5k gold ahead, so it's looking really good for them at the moment.
Well, definitely looking very, very well, sitting for themselves. 25 over to 20,000 for the side of Elite 8. And this is what I'm talking about. Uni was kiting for his dear life against this Vox, and the only reason is because Vox was stacking too much damage onto SNK and Chingy as well. So tons of breaking point stacks on Vox or Official High. Maybe caught out now.
Yeah, Bulwark use. He's not able to run away. Petal gets the kill. So much money on this Petal. Swordblade double tornado already. Build a reflex block when he goes to shot, or maybe go for an infusion instead. Reza, I much like the build from Official High, even though they are behind. This Aftershock into Broken Myth does seem to be a lot better than Aftershock into Dragon's Eye. Renegades, what's the call? Are they going to go for the turret, or are they going to go for Sentry? Looks like they're trying to fight for a little bit. Now Renegades wants to push this in. Uni wants to push that wave as far as he can. Official High has no respawn. Will there be a getting engaged? Gauntlet in 3 seconds. And saving is waiting, but Renegades going to back off. Probably going to start the Sentry up. No, they're going to bait. Shingy standing in the bush. You're going to get rooted. Your Bulwark. Fountain not going to be used. Not going to be enough to keep Official High alive. Atlas onto Anasabi, not onto Hunyaga's. He's going to be able to kite from the back line. But Renegades just going to be happy with 1 kill and back off towards the Sentry and the jungle. They could probably start Gold Mine as well. They wait for Official High to respawn, start the Gold Mine, bait a fight, take a fight, and then take the tier 3 turret and the Gold Mine. So it's looking really good for Renegades. Vox has now picked up the Poison Shiv. So he did sell his Book of Eulogies to get the breaking point. Now he's gone for Poison Shiv just because the healing's too much. I think if he's trying to get the breaking point build, he might as well just go for a couple of Tornado triggers, maybe a Tyrant's Monocle, so that he can just try and outburst Petal. But going for this Poison Shiv, it makes sense. I would have liked to see it a little bit earlier though, now that he has decided to go for it.
Yep, I would think Vox to build Poison Shiv as the first item coming into this match, very simply because of this Lyra, but that wasn't quite the case. Hunyega now trying to push his turret, burning down those minions with those basic attacks, but hitting the minions will not give you breaking point stacks because they're considered spawns, they're not considered heroes. So, all in all, they will just be forced to back off. But now Chingy will be mad by the entirety of Elite 8 and SNK as well. Uni rotating down, but will not be finding any members of Elite 8. So this issue still stands. Official High can dive in the backlines, try to take out Uni, but that can't be done at all because you see constantly the positioning coming through from RNG is just at times so perfect. They just catch out Official High and then forcing it to one.
And the Arcane Passage is into the what you're gonna be in top. That's gonna be because of the Arcane Passage, but Shingy now going to get a lot of work done. Uni is going low. That's a 1v1, and they trade their lives. Vox for the Petal, and now that's another full detonator over the wall. He was spotted out by the basic attack from Lyra. They know where he went. Shingy going to try and do what he can. Shingy just with tier 1 Crystal Bar defense, able to easily 1v1 Hunyegas at this point. Official High at this point. And Uni and Hunyegas once again trading their lives, and that seems to be how these fights are going. If Uni can stay alive a little bit longer, maybe he needs weapon power defense as opposed to an Aegis, then he'll be able to kill Vox pretty simply. Vox now going for Atlas or Metal Jacket makes a lot of sense because all these fights are coming down to is who can kill who, Uni or Hunyegas, and if one of them stays alive, that team will win the fight. At the moment, both of them are dying instantly, so the fights are really stalling out into late game, which does benefit Renegades with this Lyra. Going to scale up with that healing, but SNK though could be caught out by Official Pine, and Chingy's going to start to lane. Looks like they want to fight. Renegades looking to see what they can do. Gauntlet not up for 20 seconds though, so Elite 8 are going to back off until that is available.
Yeah, but what I saw earlier on was that Han Jaeger wasn't in a strict 1v1 with Uni. In fact, Han Jaeger was simply building stacks onto SNK and Chingy before turning his attention to Uni, but now the attention will be turned to this anchor turret, and RNG very comfortable and quickly taking this turret down.
Such a good rotation from Renagades. They knew that Anime Save Me wasn't wanting to fight. It was really obvious because Renagades showed their faces. Elite 8 just backed off as 3. They probably guessed, okay, Gauntlet's probably not available. So we're going to rotate, we're going to stop reporting home, and we're just going to push this turret. Now they're starting the gold mine, they'll be able to get it before Kraken spawns, because they have a petal so much damage on that weapon petal. Renagade's looking to ult it though, and he's going to wait, he's going to wait for it, and he's going to wait for it a bit late. Was looking to try and steal their gold mine away blind, so it's pretty tough. Kraken has now awakened petal, gone for the Tyrant's monocle. I love to see 3 tornado triggers on my weapon petal, it just looks funny, and so it does similar damage, so why not go for it? Now, I think, yeah, these fights, I agree that Vox is building up breaking point stacks before going into Petal, but he also wants to kill Petal, and if that happens, they win the fight. So obviously building up breaking point stacks might be the easy way to do it, but that is the end goal for Elite 8. Now Renegades looking to fight a passageway. He's going to go in, but it's not going to be a bulwark used. He's going to wait, and there's the Gauntlet going to come down, and that's Idris. Sorry, that's going to be Reza going down. Blocks on the Netherform destination, so Rhyme's going to get 1 kill. Petal survive, and that is going to be Petal alive, and that is going to be Renegades winning the fight. If Uni stays alive, Renegades win the fight, and they're just going to push for the win. Already, Luxury, this is going to be a 15-minute game. Maybe 16.
I mean, they have got the damage to push the win and push for the win, and the fact that minions, the Ace minions, is just pushing in their favor as well. It is a very, very easy game for the side of Renegades to just close out. And official high. Very good team fight, a few very good plays coming through from official high. But what happened half the time there in that match was him just getting caught out constantly before every team fight happened. And although Han Jaeger did his best to try to out-sustain, out-damage Uni by stacking the breaking point stacks on someone else before turning on to Uni, but the burst coming through from this Petal is just way too much for anyone from the side of Elite 8 to handle, and Chingy just being a very, very good frontliner.
Yeah, especially without any metal jacket and only one